This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, look who it is. Griff and Logue, our, former Fremantle docker. What is going on in the life of Griff and Logue?
Maybe you defected to another radio station, Griff.
Hi, Griff.
Nah, not quite. Still here. How you going?
I'm a bit upset. It's just that when someone wants out of the relationship, usually you talk about it, and basically it feels like you've just moved out. We've come home and there's a post-it on the fridge. So what's your problem?
Oh, there's still Nova over in Melbourne, isn't there?
Interesting.
Wow, okay.
That's very interesting, isn't it, Shaun?
So, Griff, it has been very interesting last week, as Nathan's kind of pointing out. So give us a rundown how this has all played out on your side of the fence.
Yeah, obviously, very interesting and a new thing for me. I guess, I didn't really make a call on it and come to a final decision until only last Wednesday, just gone. So sat down with my manager and my dad at the end of the season once everything had unfolded, and basically came to the agreement that it was going to be the best decision for me. It was a tough decision of my life, I think, as well. And I guess I'm happy and excited now, but still, it's still tough.
Where did we go wrong? Personally, just so we know we're moving into the next relationship, we can know what to do better. Where did we fail you?
Oh, it was mostly you, mate. There's too many shit jokes.
Yeah, no, that sounds
well, that's obviously the wrong show.
He gets a lot of that feedback.
My stuff is gold.
Griff, is it what's the attraction? Is it a longer contract? Is it more money, or is it the guarantee of being able to play in your preferred position?
What about all three?
Most of it came from the guaranteement of the playing position and just getting locked in by
being up forward's not for you.
No, I don't think so. And I just kind of got along really well with the coach over there, and that resonated with me really well, and it's something that made me really kind of excited and felt really backed in, and
cool.
And kind of keen to just go out there and perform.
But it is like a new girl on the scene where, you feel good and like, they're talking it up and they want to bring you.
Yeah.
They want to do everything for you.
And you find out they talk too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. There's always that whole saying the grass is always greener, but there was plenty to weigh up, and I feel like myself and my dad and family and of course the manager kind of ended up coming to the right decision, and I'm sticking by it.
So a lot of people are demanding many answers from you right now. There is one important one that I'm pretty sure no one has touched, but yet I think is the most important of your career, and that is, what is with those shorts that you're wearing? They've been in the paper twice now. They've been online. Chinatown Market Ride the Lightning. Explain it to everybody, please, Griffin.
Geez, I did not think that would even matter, but all right.
It's all anyone's talking about, mate.
Yeah.
Literally, it was
they're a statement.
It was the Queen's funeral was the second story on the news.
They're just I got them from our mate Tommy Sheridan after he stayed on my couch for a few months. His last parting gift was a bit of fresh kit from it's from My Life in Fremantle, so a bit of a plug. But
right.
Chinatown's big Janus Antetokounmpo's main brand, so they're pretty hip over over in America. He's a two-time MVP.
Yeah, right.
Brownlow for the US, but I didn't think that. No, I'm not much of a fashionista, but I just whacked them on and didn't think much of it.
Well, my second question is, when you put them on, did you walk past a mirror?
I don't think I've checked myself and my kit in front of a mirror for a number of years.
Best we put that into the rotation.
In the morning, but might have to start bringing it in.
So, Griff, what's the plan here?
Oh wait, we've got the merch.
We've got My Life.
We'll go through that.
Actually, there's some things on there I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
no, they got some nice shoes in there too, Griff. They do a lot of shoes and stuff like that in there.
A lot of fresh kit in there. A lot of fresh
Nathan,
kit.
it's across the road. The shop's across the road from where Meat and Bud used to be.
Chinatown Market.
Meat and Bud used to be.
Yeah, okay, I know exactly the shop you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Chinatown Market looks like you're going to break into my car. Look at it. Is that marijuana leaves? Griffin.
Where, on the shorts?
It's just
There
got the shorts.
are
No,
not
there's
on
some other
those ones.
t-shirts
There's
getting around.
another shorts there that have marijuana
I mean,
leaves
looking
on
at this, you could have done
I'm
worse.
not wearing those ones.
No, I know, but
We know.
is that what
Mate,
is that?
I'm riding the lightning.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're writing something.
I'm not smoking the herb. I'm riding the lightning.
Griff, I am a little bit concerned about the lifestyle that you're going to be leading in Melbourne. I mean, you're not going to be strolling down the beach every morning for a little bit of a, swim in your budgie smugglers and then coffee at the Orange Box kiosk after that. You're not going to be able to live that life anymore.
No, you're right, and that's that'll definitely be something that I miss, and it's not something I've taken for granted as well. Doing that every day, so I'll have to catch up and do that for the next
what
few
about
weeks.
Tabs? Who's thinking of Tabs? He's going to have to get a new roommate.
Hashtag.
I know. That's probably that was the biggest thing. Yeah,
You had to break up with him as well.
Do you guys own anything joint together? Did you buy any joint purchases?
They got separate coffee machines
No,
and everything.
separate coffee machines, do you? Yeah.
No, coffee machine's mine, and I beat him in season for a TV, so
Okay.
he gets to keep it. But
Jeez.
So, Griff, from here, what is the plans? From here, we know that footy season's finished. You cleared out your lock like every other player does. So, how does the process work for you before you're in Melbourne and in the blue
Pulling
and
on
white?
the blue and white. Shin boner.
honestly, not too sure over the small intricacies of it. I'm heading to an off-season trip where I'm heading away with a few boys to America for a few weeks, and then I guess once I get back, I just need to be training will start early mid-December, and then I'll be over there by kind of mid-November, getting settled in. I'd say.
So the deal hasn't been done yet, though, has it?
No, then the
You're not
trade
officially
No.
traded? Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like it's been done by the way Griffin's talking.
No, but the AFL have given North Melbourne a couple of future picks,
compensation,
compensation
yeah,
picks.
yeah.
So one of them will be used for Griff.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
It's been nice, Griff.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed you.
I guess you're dead to us now.
And from us, Griff and Logue, to you, all I can say is ride the lightning. Ride the lightning.
That's not bad. Yeah, well done. You did that one well.
Don't be a stranger, Griff.
Yeah, absolutely, Griff.
You're part
Good
of the
luck.
family still.
Good luck.
No, thank you
You're
guys
just now
very
a distant
much.
cousin, that's all.
That's all right.
Do you reckon
Well,
one of your things has been able to jump, obviously, Griff? Do you reckon with your pockets full of money that you'll be able to do that next season playing for North Melbourne?
I reckon I'll be fine to jump. Don't worry about that.
Sean, don't you worry. If he's got a nice steady pair of Chinatown
Yes,
markets on
he
there,
can ride
he's
the
going to be
lightning.
able to jump as much as he can. Griff and Logue, miss you, love you. Sort of upset with you.
Never see you again. Thanks,
luck.
Griff.
All right, see you guys.
Bloody shin boner, look at him go.
Hey, shin boner of the century.
Joining the chorus,
What?
eh?
Yeah, look out.
The last time we ever speak to him.
Jeez.
Who?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Let's get a new one.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Time to catch up with our good friend Stevie Butler. Writes all the great articles for the West Australian. And Steve, well, he gets on the ground when
Doesn't he?
there's a story to be broken. He's there. Steve, good morning.
Yes, got the little nose for the ground all the way up into the Midwest yesterday, Sean. I even actually popped through Kalbarri just to check out that famous site where you got bogged last year. That was,
Great memory.
Getting all the highs.
there's a beautiful big plaque there and a photo of you. It's a lovely thing.
Being helped
Right
by
near
a
Jack's
West Coast
Point.
supporter.
West Coast supporters.
Yeah, they've erected a statue. There's actually statues all around the state of people helping Sean.
So, Steve, up in the Midwest, so you're doing a story on Paddy Cripps and where it all started?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in Northampton this morning. We're here yesterday, actually standing right outside the home hardware shop run by
The Hazelbees.
parents of your former teammate, Paul Hazelby.
Yeah,
Kerry.
yeah.
So
Is it Hazelby
There you go.
Hammers? What is it?
Hazelby Homeware.
Hazelby Hardware?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
hardware, yeah,
Hazelby Hardware, that's it, yeah.
So you go in there and
And,
see Rick, and he should be in there, I'd imagine.
Rick and Kerry, both in there yesterday. And look, the town is actually really buzzing. It's quite palpable here. There's just a real love in this town for all their boys, obviously, but for Paddy as well. And look, last night, yesterday afternoon, we put a bit of a feeler out through the school and those sorts of things to say, well, look, come down the Oval if you love Paddy Cripps and we'll take a photo of you. And we got there and the place was packed. There was hundreds of people there.
Wow.
And so we took this great big photo of all these, and all kids came from everywhere, dressed
Yeah.
in their Carlton shirts, in their in their Northampton Rams jumpers.
Yep.
Like, it was just amazing. The whole Oval was virtually packed with people because they love Paddy Cripps. And when you walked around the town, we spoke to his first coach, Bob Hazelby. We caught up with a couple of his teachers yesterday. There's such joy here in this place. And for a town that's been absolutely belted by Cyclone Seroja and nearly flat And, there's still remnants of that. When you come into town, the bottom pub's still got a big fence around it and unworkable because it had its roof ripped off and other damage.
Yeah.
And when you think that their spirit was dampened and belted around by Cyclone Saroja, to see this resilient little town bounce back and feel the joy of Patrick Cripps's Brownlow medal win is quite remarkable, actually.
You know what they should do? They should take they should have a thing in their law, their town law, of taking 5% of each child's future earnings.
Oh, gee, that's a good idea.
Because it's probably going to be an AFL star, and then you'll be able to always be able
Percentages
to.
are high.
You know what I mean? But I want to know about the amount of stars, footy stars that are coming from that place. So, do they have a walk of fame there?
They do.
They do. Yeah.
Well, it's actually figurines, so they're sort of hologramic almost. There's a big panorama of the home oval here for the Rams.
Yep.
And in front of it are the 9 figurines of the guys who've all made it through the AFL, including Josh Kennedy and Patrick Cripps and several others, obviously Harry Taylor and Daniel Chick and many of them.
Hayes, you've got to give Hayes a mention because he'll be listening down the line.
We've already given him a mention.
No,
for all your hardware
anyway,
needs.
His parents are still here. They're more important.
Yeah, true.
And then to look at that is quite amazing in the main street. And yesterday, I think by midnight, the publican at the top pub, Neville Tomlinson, had gone home. He'd found an image of the Brownlow medal on the website. He'd blown it up, printed it, laminated it, and hung it around Patrick Cripps's neck in that wall of fame. And it was there by midnight after he'd won his Brownlow medal. So that was cracking.
That must be amazing for these guys to go home and see how celebrated they are in their hometowns. Cowgill has done nothing for me. Natalie, I've not seen a poster of you up in Esperance.
No.
You know, I mean,
Largely ignored when I go home.
What more can we do now?
And there's nobody else famous from Esperance. Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to think who we haven't mentioned on this wall of fame. I mean, Andrew Lockyer, Liam Anthony, Tarkin Lockyer. There's been so many players who've come from there. And there's actually 2 Teakles who are now playing for Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide, one AFLW, one AFL.
Yep.
Brother and sister. And they're likely to make their way into that walk too. There's a bit of room in front, apparently, where they can put a few more if they get them. But I would suspect that what both Josh Kennedy and Paddy Cripps have done this year, judging by the amount of kids who came on that oval yesterday, they've inspired a new generation of footballers up here.
It's actually amazing, really, isn't it? And
it's amazing.
In a small town,
amazing.
is it the strength of the junior club? What is it? Why are they producing these champions?
Well, there is a long-held tale about there was some lead in the water here back in the day.
That can't be because Esperance had that, and we had lead in the air, and it didn't help.
Well, I'm not sure that transferred to the lead in the pencil or not, but that's the story.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's been amazing.
There's also talk that it could be the wind that makes them strong up here because it is very blustery.
Yeah, no, Esperance has got that too.
See the bent over trees. Yeah, there you go. And but I just think it's almost role modelling. Like when you hear Paddy Cripps go up and say, "Look, I live next door to Daniel Chick, and I love Ben Cousins and Chris Judd, but he lived next door to Daniel Chick and wanted to play like him." I think there's a lot of that, and I think a lot of these kids yesterday would be saying, "I want to play like Paddy Cripps," and they may well do it. And I just loved how he got up and represented Northampton beautifully when he said during his speech, "I'd love to be sober this time next year."
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with the role modelling thing, Steve. I reckon that's a really good point. And lastly, whenever I go through Northampton, I'm told to make sure I stop at the bakery. Have you been to the bakery yet?
No, but we've been told to go this morning. They tell me it's the 4th best sausage roll in the state.
Ooh, fourth best. I mean, I like their modest claim. Do you know what I mean?
But then again, there's no ambit claim there.
Get 3, put them in a bag, bring them home, lock them in the freezer. We'll try them when we get back from break.
I will do that for you, Nathan. I do most things that you ask me to do, and that will be one of them.
That's right. And then before then you have to pop into Nova, you have to pull the meat out of the fridge.
Pussy Willow. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Stephen.
And the Catters for me on Saturday.
All right, the Catters, right.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
They're in good form, aren't they?
They certainly are. Thanks, Steve.
Chat soon.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Hey, first of all, we're going to start off with Tasmania, and they're going to have a team. So it's going to
When's that
likely
gonna happen?
come in 2027 at this point in time.
Oh, they're not good at naming things, are they? What's their basketball team?
The Jack Jumpers.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nate.
Stupid.
I mean, it probably means something to them.
But they have there?
Tigers, Devils.
Okay, so
there's
a devil and a tiger that's been done, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what else has got Tasmania?
They could co-opt Devils, I reckon. Tasmania Devils. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
I think so. I think it just works.
Yeah.
What about the cousin lovers?
Yeah. I mean,
That works too.
The Tasmanian two heads.
So it's 2027. At this point in time, the AFL have ticked off on everything. What the AFL also want them to do is build a new stadium. In the paper, they're reporting that the stadium cost is, $750 million, which it's always going to be $1 billion. But the thing about their stadium design is they're going to have a roof because they kind
of need it.
Clubs to come down there and not have to worry about the weather, and it's attractive football.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see what happens there. But that would be lovely. It's
so in Hobart or Launceston?
Down in Hobart, and it's right on the water too, the way it
like Bellreeve Oval is, yeah.
All right,
it does look fantastic.
They've thought about where they're putting their stadium, so it connects to the place.
Yeah, but they haven't got the money for it at this point in time.
They're having a cake stall.
Could be
got to sell some apples.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there's a couple of players who are looking to trade teams at this point.
It's moving season, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what I found, Nat, this year? In the past, I think it's starting to wane that you're a one-team player.
Yeah, that's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
It's good, and that's because careers are football. Football's a career, not just, a sport.
But also, I blame social media. It's people's attention spans. Seriously, I think that people don't care about staying in places as long as what they do anymore.
And also, they're going for the money. They realise that they've got a short-lived, you've said that's Junior Rioli's doing that, and if it's good for him, it's good for everyone.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to still get your head around it with my mindset, but that's the facts. And these guys are getting told that this is a career and it's a short-term thing. So Josh Dunkley's leaving the Western Bulldogs and he's going to go to Brisbane on $700,000 for 6 years, so that's a good deal. Griff's deal is supposed to be around the 6-year mark, so we'll find out if that is true when we come in at this
so that's
point
to
in
North.
time.
That's what North have offered.
There's a couple of guys still at Fremantle looking to move clubs. Lloyd Meek is one of them, who's a ruckman you guys don't know too much about, but he would play in just about every other AFL team.
Yeah, it's interesting,
he'd be a really good fit for the West Coast Eagles. He's a massive unit and he's only going to get better as time goes on.
So if you want to move clubs and the club denies you, how do you move forward as a player?
We'll get Rory Rob on the line.
Yeah, and how do they perceive you knowing you don't want to be there? What's that about? Because it's like wanting to break up with someone, they say no, and then you exist in the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, I think professionally, what I've seen in the past, they've all been able to move forward. And Rory Lobb's a great example because he wanted to leave. And then they had a discussion afterwards. You're not leaving. This is
last season.
Yeah, last season.
So he wants to leave again.
Yes.
And he.
So
here's the thing, Nate.
This moment you're trapped.
So he's
an abusive relationship.
He's going to leave again. I know Belly said he's not going to, but after he declared himself last year, he still played a really great season for Freo. So they were able to get him into the team, and he was fine with the whole thing. But knowing that he wanted to leave, I'm sure all year they would have been dealing with other teams going.
But Shaun, most relationships, right? Like you can put another year in. Even when it's bad.
Yeah.
But then at the end of that year, when you see there's light at the end of the tunnel, you realise there's another year. It's like, oh my God.
Well, I mean,
don't know what you're talking about.
There's a precedent for players to sit out the remaining year. Cam McCarthy did that, didn't he?
Yeah,
where he said, I'm not going to play.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
If you won't let me go, then I'm just not going to play.
Well, that's just they threaten him all the time with different things. And that comes from managers trying to work.
But I mean, that's what he did.
Situation.
He did sit out, though.
He did. Yeah. He did. So there's plenty more to come, and we'll wait and see what happens with those players who are wanting to move and whether the clubs let them move at this stage.
Speaking of somebody that we thought was going to move and isn't, Buddy Franklin signed on for another year with Sydney.
Another year. I did think that over the last month, Nat, that I think that he's had his time. Like, I think he's just going to be out there and not doing much next year. I think he's beaten.
Well, he's got all the money.
He's
got all the money, doesn't he?
He does. And just quickly before I wind up, just quick shout out. Yesterday I was down at the beach and everyone's in the water wearing boots. How cold was it yesterday?
It was pretty chilly.
Yeah, so all the kids were out there surfing, wearing booties. Some were wearing hats. The whole thing just to make sure they're warm. There was a guy out there in board shorts, no wetsuit at all. He was out there for hours.
As somebody who really feels the cold, you felt that, didn't you?
That is ridiculous.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.